We're the Barr Brothers, and you're watching Bobby Me.
So we were just talking about that you're having a pretty busy summer. You're traveling. I was wondering how do the crowds differ in U.S., in Canada, in Europe?
Well, it's hard to say, but we find generally in Europe and the UK, people really listen, and we can play quietly, and that's a treat for us to be able to play to people that are really tuning in. But the audience is kind of, that's the nice thing, is you realize they're kind of the same all over. They just want to enjoy good music.
You guys have a very specific and very interesting sound, your band, and how do you came to it?
We all have been through rock as kids, and then jazz and experimental classical music. We've been in and out of all the genres sort of over the course of being musicians.
Yeah, when you say the band has a sound, that's really nice to hear, because for us it still seems like it's kind of all over the place and grabbing lots of different influences. There's influences from West Africa, from when we were growing up in Providence, Rhode Island, there's a lot of West African guys that we used to play music with. So that kind of crept into the music. And then also just the musicians on stage. Like this tour, we have Brett Lanier, who's playing pedal steel, and we hadn't played that much with a pedal steel guitar before, and that adds a whole liquid element to the music. So it's kind of a lifelong search, and it changes a lot.
You mentioned the guitar player. There was some serious guitar skill on the stage today.
Yeah. Brad, he said today, okay, we're gonna cut loose in Latvia. We're gonna let it rip, and he took some long solos, and we really like to leave our songs open-ended. I guess that's something that we take for granted, but maybe it sounds unique in a festival, is that we have sections of our music that is really wide open, and the solos can be 8 minutes long or 2 minutes long, and we like to try to connect with each other on stage and discover new territory every night, because we do it so much. If we're not doing that, we all get pretty bored. And in fact, tonight even the set was improvised. We didn't know what songs we were going to play, and we kind of waited to see the crowd and how they were reacting, and are they going to be ready? Can we play something really slow and quiet? And you just can kind of tell. We like to kind of go through all the different emotions, I guess, up there. That's what's satisfying for us, is to feel like we've told a story with the set.
Do you look to the audience during your shows? Like, do you see what's happening?
For me, it's important to look up a little and see what's going on in the room. It kind of is what makes it all real. Otherwise, it'd be like playing in a studio.
And last year, you released an album, Queens of the Breakers.
Queens of the Breakers.
Yes, it's quite a powerful name. What's behind this? Yeah.
Well, the Breakers is actually a mansion in Newport, Rhode Island, which is the town that my brother and I are from. Well, we're from Providence, Rhode Island. Newport, Rhode Island is an old sailing town, and it was like where a bunch of mansions were built. It was one of the first kind of really wealthy areas of the U.S. The Vanderbilts had a mansion there, and they had sailboats that would sail in the America's Cup and all this. And so they built this big mansion, and when we were, early high school, I was younger than Brad, but him and his friends were experimenting with different kinds of things that would make your mind feel different kinds of ways, and got dressed up in our friend Adam's mother's. She's like a very flamboyant Jewish mother. Got dressed up in her clothes, and I guess my brother and I both had children during the last couple of years, and some reason we've kind of gone back into this adolescent phase. A few of the songs on the record were really tap into this feeling that we haven't really played out musically since we were kids. And so the whole record kind of had this, every now and then we would just think well, what would Tom Petty do, or the Traveling Wilburys, or these bands that we were into when we were 14, 15. So it seemed like a fitting title, because it was tapping into that group of friends that you're experimenting with when you're kind of a younger person. And those, now some of those people we haven't talked to in 10, 15 years, and you check in with them, and hopefully they're all doing well, but everybody, you kind of can lose touch pretty quickly, and you realize how much you grew with some of these friends. You know, it's important to, I don't know, for us it was important to honor that somehow.
If you had a chance to change one thing in the world, what would it be?
A second heart.
A second heart.
A second heart. I feel like I could use a second heart sometimes.
Backup heart?
Swells a little too much, you know, and you're like, you want to go to like a default second heart that can.
I actually wish I had a second pair of arms that I could attach in so I could play the pedal steel and guitar at the same time. Yeah, that would be nice.
Thank you very much, guys.